To many people, including myself, family is one of the most important parts of life. However, within the recent years on social media, we've kind of seen an epidemic of people who just don't really know boundaries when it comes to family. Whether it's boy mothers who kind of refuse to accept the fact that their son is one day going to have a girlfriend, or fathers buying their daughters purity rings. We've genuinely seen it all on social media. However, a video that you may or may not have seen recently is pretty damn disturbing, and it begs the question, how close is too close when it comes to family? So just a quick trigger warning for today's video. We're going to be talking about themes of CSA and just similar disturbing topics. I think you might have kind of guessed by now from the title and the thumbnail, it's not a pleasant video to talk about, but I have seen a lot of people talk about it recently, and as usual, I like to give my opinion. Recently, on TikTok, a video was posted of a fully grown man, dad, in bed with his son, doing something that we haven't really sussed out quite what they were doing, but I'll let you be the judge of whether you think this is normal activity to be partaking between a father and a son.
Hey! I'm sorry, you guys are grown adults.
Trying to look at his phone.
Huh?
He was over there smiling at his phone.
Oh, yeah?
Let me see.
Why you want to smile?
Huh?
You don't need to smile.
What do you mean?
You're an old man.
I ain't no old man. Ciao, girl. Bonding with my son. I miss this nigga.
So yeah, there we go. It is potentially one of the weirdest videos I think I've seen this year. Now that is a son and a father lying in bed together, which I just want to first off start by saying, no matter what you think they were doing, whether you think they were actually doing something or not, to be in bed with your father at that age is strange. I know there's going to be people saying, oh, but families have different boundaries, families have different relationships. No fully grown adult should be in bed with their fully grown son. Now, apparently the son is 20, and a lot of people will say, well, I mean, he's not a kid, so, which I can't believe is an argument, but people are saying, well, if he's not a kid, then like, it doesn't matter whether he's not a kid. First things first, a few things to consider. One, if they were doing something inappropriate, the chances are that this did not start when he was a 20-year-old. This would have started way prior. To be doing that in the middle of the day in the bed, and for them both to be looking so comfortable doing it makes me think that whatever they were doing, they've been doing it for a very long time. But regardless, like, who is in bed with their father? Who is like in bed with their father, okay? Now, I showed you the slowed down video because I think it's best that you guys can kind of see it broken down, and I'm going to kind of talk through it as we look at it. So as we know, they're in bed, they aren't looking, they don't expect clearly the mother to come in.
Hey!
And that hey, as he looks over, bear in mind, we can't see the son's head, right? To me, and I could be wrong, it looks like the son is kind of like curled over. And I mean, if you look at the position of the dad, who is also in like an arched position, this is disturbing. To me, it looks like the son is under the duvet doing something, right? That kind of, hey, gives like you've just been walked in on. You haven't quite been caught during the act, but everybody knows there's kind of something going on. Like, most people have probably had it where someone's walked through the door, whether it be a sibling or a parent or a housemate, and you and your partner are under the duvet getting it on. And you're kind of like really awkward, so you force like a stifled, hey, like, that's what it gives to me. Now, I might be wrong, okay? But at the end of the day, everyone has a very uneasy feeling about the situation for the same reason. It is a weird situation. Now, people are speculating about what they think they are saying. Some people think that at the beginning of the clip, the son says, this is so disgusting. People think that he's saying, you're going too fast, and then the dad says, like, take it, or something like that. But a lot of people are arguing over what it is they think he's saying. Either way, why are you in bed with your son? Not only why are you doing that, but why are you doing that in the middle of the day when you know your wife is around? It gives the The wife knows it's going on, but doesn't know how to react. Because why did she have the camera out ready to film? Like, why are you, like, filming them? Like, she's doing it from a perspective of, oh, because they're fully grown adults in bed. Like, so you acknowledge that's strange then. And then this is the part where it looks like the sun kind of comes up a little bit.
I'm sorry, you guys.
But then his hand,
adults.
look, his hand comes back round and it looks like he's pulling his pants up. And then the sun's hiding his face.
Trying to look at his phone.
Huh?
He was over there smiling at his phone.
Oh, yeah?
Let me see.
Why you want to smile? You don't need to smile. You're an old man.
I need to watch it again so I can just listen to what he's saying.
Hey!
Yeah, so he definitely says something. I genuinely can't hear what it is, but people are saying I've already said what people are saying. But I mean, either way, I'm sorry, like, I don't care how close you are. Why are you, like, cuddling up to your son in bed? That alone should be kind of investigated, I'm not gonna lie. And then the, like, movement under the duvet. He definitely pulls up his pants because he moves his hand back round.
I'm sorry, you guys are grown adults.
And then he pulls the blanket up. What? And first of all, like, why would you post this on TikTok? Like, a lot of people are speculating, like, and I kind of agree. Maybe she, like, knows what's going on and she almost wants to be validated by everybody else so that they can be like, what the f***? And then they can kind of figure it out. Maybe she, like, does know and she just doesn't really want to, like, talk about it or, like, address it. I don't know. But either way, like, you're all a sick family. And, like, I just feel bad for the son because no matter what's going on, if what we think is happening, then, like, that is some clear grooming. Because the kid, like, well, the 20-year-old, like, there's no way that you would feel that comfortable doing that at that age unless it's been happening your whole life, which is genuinely really sad. And I think this guy should genuinely be looked into. This is weird. I hate these kind of things on TikTok because, like, TikTok is such an unserious app, yet this is such a serious topic. Like, we are witnessing firsthand perhaps a situation of grooming and CSA that has gone over such an extensive period of time that the 20-year-old almost sees this as normal. And we know that in terms of CSA, now I'm not an expert, so I don't want to, like, make assumptions, but from what I know and what I've read, when you are groomed from such a young age to believe that something is normal, you act that way. You act like it's normal. Sometimes it takes people, like, years and years and years into their adulthood to realize that something's wrong. If that's what you've grown up around and that's what you know as normal, that's absolutely disturbing. But for some people, I guess it's like, I don't know any different because this has been my whole life. And it's really, really sad. And I feel weird because it almost feels like maybe the whole internet is jumping to conclusions because this has gone big. But then it's like, we haven't all jumped to the same conclusion for no reason. We've jumped to this conclusion because you're a fully grown man in bed with your son. You get caught after saying some things that sound pretty suspicious, and even without the things you said, your son's head and body is under the duvet. You say, hey, in like a really suspicious way. It then looks like you pulled up your pants and then you both like refuse to like address the camera properly because you're both so awkward. I don't think people jump into the conclusion that maybe you're doing something wrong or people reaching. I think it's really fair for us to believe that there is something dark going on. And I also saw, apparently, they are also a multiple child household, and apparently, again, another trigger warning for really disturbing detail, but one of their youngest keeps having a issue with wetting the bed repeatedly. Now, as we know, children do wet the bed, but as we also know, that is a very big indicator and sometimes a red flag that a child may be being... I'm trying to keep my words to a minimum because I don't really want to get into the depths of discussing such a triggering subject, especially in like a really quick video. I don't think it's appropriate, but I think it's worth mentioning because there are multiple signs of neglect within this family, and this was just like one part of a very big picture that I think should be looked into, but hasn't been looked into properly because the mum did a response where she basically said, oh, the police came round and nothing came of it, so that means nothing possibly bad could have happened because the police have already been to our house. So now we're going to look at her response.
A few weeks ago, I posted a video of my husband and son wrestling around in the bed.
So first of all, that sentence alone is something that you need to really think about. Like, my 20-year-old son and my husband were wrestling in bed, wrestling. That alone is very odd to me. I think if you are someone who doesn't see a problem with that, I'd question why. I think that is openly very weird. To come online and let that be your first sentence also, by the way, is crazy work. But do continue. I'm sure you'll have loads of other sensical things to say.
So we just got home from watching his championship football game, and we walked by his room and we noticed he was smiling down at his phone. So one of those smiles where you know that he's most likely smiling at a girl. So my husband jumped in the bed to try and look at his phone to see why he was smiling so big for. In the midst of all this.
So your husband jumped in bed to see why he was smiling at his phone. Also, firstly, a bit odd. Like, you could have said from the door, oh, son, like, why are you smiling at your phone? What's funny? Why did he feel the need to get in the bed? Under the covers, by the way. And they were talking to each other, whispering, under the covers. What I'm going to do when my editor edits the clip is I'm going to ask my editor to try and isolate the clip and do something to the vocals to see if we can hear it as clearly as possible, just to add context to the fact that she's saying, oh, he just got in bed with him. Like, yeah, and he was whispering with the son under the covers. I'm sorry, that's not normal behavior. That's not normal. And if it is normal in your family, then look at the bigger picture.
I whipped out my phone because, duh, we're content creators. I started filming them. It was funny, it was hilarious, and it was wholesome to see my son and his dad just wrestling around in the bed, even at the...
Girl, do you hear yourself? Now, this is really sad, and I'm trying not to get too annoyed at her because there is a potential that she is absolutely in denial. Like, and that's sad, right? That's a sad factor. Or she knows damn well and she's just trying to make an excuse. But then it's like, well, why would you post it? Like, why would you post this online? I don't know.
Big old age. Total fail because not even 1 hour later, my video was going viral, but for the wrong narrative. People...
The words narrative, not narrative. Americans, man.
Started commenting on my post, how disgusting this video is, yada yada. The most horrible and disgusting comments, and people resharing, reposting with their own narrative of false accusations.
I mean, you just said your husband was in bed with his son wrestling. I don't think it's really that much of a reach to say that there's something inappropriate going on. And like, yeah, you're right. If this isn't what it looks like, then that is a damn shame. But like, maybe learn your lesson from posting videos like that and then trying to defend it by saying, they were just wrestling. We were just wrestling. That alone is creepy as I'm gonna say. That alone is creepy. Even if that was just what was happening, saying, oh, they were just wrestling. Like, nothing cheeky was going on. Like, babe, come on. You know damn well.
Are getting hundreds of DMs, hundreds of tags, people threatening us, saying that they're calling the FBI, the local police, calling the football chapter that my husband coaches at. The police even knocked on our door about 2 weeks ago and explained to us that they received many complaints about this video and that we need to be checked on. So they interviewed each one of our kids and asked us, where is the kid on the video? And both my husband and I started laughing, saying, you mean our adult child who is 20 years old? The police started laughing, saying the accusations were that he was a minor child.
Relevancy. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, incest is fine if you're an adult. It's fine. Like, you know, is nothing wrong. Also, like, even if people want to use the argument of, oh, he's an adult, first of all, odd. Second of all, like, do you really think that then, because he's an adult, like, nothing is wrong? If they were doing something wrong, do you really think that it would have started in adulthood? I need a drink. People really need to start using their brains a little bit. Like, my brother in Christ, if what we think is happening, then it probably didn't start when your son was an adult. That's the sad reality of it. And, oh, yeah, that's good. Oh, the police said it's fine. Oh, it must be fine. Yeah, the FBI, such a trusted group of people. Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. It's good to know that the police think, you know, if you're an adult, then CSA is fine. Because, again, it probably would have happened at an earlier age than 20 to be that comfortable in the middle of the day doing what we think they're doing. But it's good to know that the police think, well, if you're an adult, then, yeah, sweet home Alabama, because no issue. Like, are you okay? And her being like, they were literally laughing. Like, no one finds that funny. We're all concerned here, and you should be too. You should be.
We had a good laugh with the police, sharing our thoughts and our concerns about this false narrative that's going viral. They completely understood and they apologized for having to interrupt our family time, and they left.
This is giving when Ash Trevino said that CPS would literally be like, oh, we're sorry, we've got to be here, whilst like her kids didn't have beds, while Ash was bringing criminals round to the house around her children. Like, just because like an authority has deemed there's no immediate concern doesn't mean there isn't. I feel like falling back on the justice system is always going to be funny when the justice system has shafted so many of us. Like, yeah, because the police said it didn't happen. Yeah, because we all know that's true.
All this because of a pushed narrative on a 28-second video of my husband.
Okay, but why would you post that 28-second video? Like, no normal person would be like, yeah, this video looks... Like, you're an adult woman, babe. You've had, clearly, many relations. You've had a lot of kids. Do you really think that, like, it's crazy that people have come to that conclusion? Exhibit A, your son is in bed with your dad, cuddling up, getting cozy. Your son's head is under the duvet. They were whispering. Exhibit B, the dad gives an awkward, hey, side eye. Exhibit C, many people believe that there was conversations going on, although we can't necessarily prove that. Many people believe they heard talk. Exhibit C, you yourself got online and said that they were wrestling in bed, which is already strange. Like, if I saw, if the dad was his age and they had a 2-year-old toddler and they were wrestling under the duvet and the dad was tickling the kid and they were laughing their heads off loudly and playing loudly, fine. You know, I think we're all smart. We have nuance. We can see how sometimes that's what parenthood is. Messing around with kids, having a laugh. That sounds really sus, but you know what I'm saying? Like, don't make it weird. Just messing around with children in a wholesome way, right? It's because we've been talking about this, right? That's just part of being a parent. But your son is 20. I'm not going through this again. You're playing stupid. Or you are stupid. Who knows? But don't sit there and get on your high horse acting like everyone's not entitled to be slightly disturbed by what they're seeing. Because I'm disturbed. And so are the millions of people that you're claiming are pushing this false narrative.
Husband and son, what meant to be a wholesome, quote unquote, you're never too old to still get affection from your dad.
Which is true. Yeah, I hug my dad. My dad will give me a little kiss on the cheek. I tell him I love him when he leaves or if he's going through a hard time. There's such thing as like a normal level of affection, you know. You don't have to be wrestling. You have to be wrestling in bed with his head under the duvet, acting sus. Like, don't try and twist it to act like we're weird. It's like that clip of that dad who gives his daughter a purity ring. And like, they defended that. Okay. Keep telling yourself that, babe, if it helps you sleep at night.
Or, quote unquote, boys will be boys, but dad's still checking on her phone. Quote unquote, Pacific Islanders with their grown kids, to the most horrible, disgusting accusations. People have taken the time
also,
to find all of our...
The music. She's like, guys, stop accusing my husband of CSA, right? Stop it. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. In the background, like, babe, I think you could have not put the music on. Like, I know you're in your content creator era, although I think that might be in the bin. Yeah. Are you following that account on TikTok? TNC? Yeah, the one that one where they're in bed and the son and dad are in bed. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be the next Charlie D'Amelio, is all I'm going to say. So just cut the music out, bro. Like, you're talking about something serious and you're turning it into, like, this lighthearted, like... I hate it when people do this as well. Like, oh, yeah, how dare you think something that we heavily portrayed? Like, okay.
Social media, our TikTok accounts, our Instagram accounts, and our Facebook accounts, just to...
Well, yeah, because it looks like incest is happening. Oh, yeah, just the general public overreacting. No, we thought that there was something dark going on, and we're still convinced that there is, because you haven't really helped your case by saying that they were just in bed wrestling.
Comment on our post with hateful comments and messaging us with horrible, threatening accusations.
Well,
I had taken down the...
Again, that's because most people are thinking, if this is what we think it is, it's probably been going on for a long time, and that's one of the most disgusting crimes known to mankind. So yeah, people probably do have a low tolerance for that. You've got kids, you shouldn't be shocked. If I was her, right, and this genuinely wasn't what we thought it was, I would come online and I would be real and I'd say, I know as a mother why people are so concerned. I can see that perspective and I understand. And I understand that people are outreaching so hard to make sure that nothing bad is going on. And I can even understand why people may think it's weird, and I accept that. But honestly, there is nothing going on. And I would explain that maybe these boundaries are weird for us, but like you don't that kind of thing. But sitting there and being like, oh, horrible accusations, why would you say that? Why do you think people are saying that? Humanity never fails to surprise me. It never does. Like, people just come up with the most dumb like, even if you're telling the truth, bro, you literally started the video off by saying your son and husband wrestle in bed, as if that's not the most sus sentence we've ever heard.
Video for one reason and one reason alone. I realized that the disgusting narrative social media was pushing, my kids and my family would be reading these disgusting and horrible threatening comments. So because I'm a mother, and I'm a mother first before anything else, I protected my family and I removed the video and blocked the people that were sending me hateful comments and reposting this horrible narrative. And I wanted to send this post today so that everyone can understand where we are going from as a Pacific Islander family. Some individuals have misunderstood or misinterpreted this interaction, but I want to clarify that as Pacific Islanders, our love and respect for our children know no bounds, regardless of their age. In our culture, such as playful and affectionate behavior is a testament to the close bonds that we share, and it is rooted in a deep sense of love and care, just as much as we love our kids.
Okay, not to reach, right? But this narrative of, well, I'm such a good parent because I love my kids so much. I care about them. Everything we do is love and care. It is not uncommon in situations where there is going on within the family for the perpetrator to tell the victim that this is love. I'm sorry, this is such a horrible topic, and like, I will completely understand if a lot of you haven't been able to get it this far. It's common for people to be like, for perpetrators in these dynamics to be like, this is love, this is care, this is what families do. Oh, it's so disgusting. Like, this is just a different level of disgusting. So like, this whole like approach to saying we're just a close family isn't valid, because like, maybe that is the case, but it's also not going to work in your favor saying that, because it could validate still what a lot of people already think about you. And I think what it boils down to is this should never have been put online. And as a mum, like, you should know that this was a weird thing to put online, even if it was an innocent video, which many people don't think it. Like, it's like, usually if a duck walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Yeah, anyway, continue, even though we're almost 5 minutes in and you've said nothing helpful.
We will also protect our kids. I should not have taken that video down, but because the world portrayed it one way.
Okay, I will defend her in one sense and say that just because you take something down doesn't mean that you're guilty. Sometimes the instinct when you're in a situation and you've done something wrong or you've said the wrong thing, obviously this is slightly worse than that, but in this kind of context, like, sometimes you panic and you're like, oh, just delete it. Like, it's happened to me before where I've like not got something right, or I've got something wrong and I've just quickly deleted something because I've been like, oh, I've panicked. Obviously, like, that all considers the fact that you're telling the truth and it genuinely was an honest mistake, whereas this is slightly different to that. I don't necessarily think her deleting it proves anything, but I think what we saw says a lot, and I don't really think what you did with the video after it is really relevant, to be honest. I think what we saw spoke enough volumes. And again, you can't get outraged by people being disturbed. You chose to post that online. It's part and part of posting online. Like, if you don't want things to be taken such a bad way, then definitely don't leave any space for ambiguity. Ambiguity? What the f***? I'm forgetting the word. Don't leave any space for confusion. Just carry on.
We realized social media was pushing a disgusting, horrible, and misconstrued narrative for the sake of our kids reading the comments. We took it down. Unfortunately, in today's world, parenting is different nowadays, where hugging and kissing and bonding with your children is not normal.
Babe, you are God. She's actually digging her family further into the depths of despair. She's going to be one of those parents that sees a video of like a mum like or a dad like lip kissing their child, right? And she's going to be one of those people to go, that's fine. Like, there are certain things that are too far, but I think they're common sense things, right? Things that most people understand. Nobody has an issue with family affection. People have an issue with stuff that looks inappropriate and stuff that looks like there's a darker thing that has been going on for a very long time. That's what people have an issue with, my friend.
But it most definitely is in the Pacific Islander community. Unfortunately, in today's society,
I don't know what Pacific Islander is. I don't want to be being, ignorant? I don't know what that is. Pacific Islanders are the indigenous people and inhabitants of the 3 major subregions of Oceania: Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia. I'm so sorry if I've just butchered that, but that's what Pacific Islander is. Again, like, my first thought that sprung to mind when she starts talking about this is that she's almost making it feel like we can't criticize her, otherwise it feels like we're criticizing her culture. Like, babe, your culture has literally nothing to do with it. I understand that some culture family dynamics vary. That's normal. Like, that's not what we have an issue with, and like, that's not going to be a blanket for you to hide under. Definitely not the right turn of phrase in this situation, but you get the point.
There has been a troubling tendency to misconstrue expressions of fatherly love and family closeness, often viewing them through a suspicious lens.
I think it's fair to view a lot of things through a suspicious lens in today's climate. I mean, PDFs, for YouTube TOS reasons, aren't rare. It's actually disturbingly common. And I think people who err on the side of caution when it comes to children and adults are the normal ones. Children are the most innocent things on the planet, aside from animals. And CSA children up for life. So many of them end up like taking their own lives. I don't really think it's that crazy to think people are really looking out for your family because you have multiple minors in your household.
I want to reaffirm that our love is genuine, sincere, and unconditional, grounded in the values that have been passed down through generations. We as Pacific Islanders,
the Pacific Islanders part, I'm sorry, I'm scared I'm going to get cancelled for saying this because it's not my intention to be dismissive of people's culture, but it's not relevant in this scenario. I understand that cultures can take on different ideals of what family values look like. I get that and I respect that, but that's not this. That isn't this. Like, that's not going to help your case. I don't know why you keep saying that. Like, it's annoying because it's like, when I'm going on these rants, it feels like I'm, like, being dismissive of, like, values within different people's culture. But, like, I just feel like she's using it as a blanket to be like, if you question our dynamic, you're questioning our culture. And that's not what we're doing. I don't think that's not what people are concerned about, nor do they care about, like, what your culture is. They care about what they're seeing.
Are people who embrace joy, playfulness, and unwavering love and support for our children.
I think we've done watching that video. She keeps mumbling on about the same that we've heard a million times. I think the husband comes on and he does a little video, so we'll have a look at that if that is what this is.
I mean, I keep hearing, investigate him. Bro, what more y'all want to do? Y'all sent the police to my house? Nothing. Y'all go into all this ranting on social media. Y'all go contact all the organizations I deal with as far as dealing with kids, all that kind of stuff. Nothing. All y'all could do is just keep reaching and continue.
Yeah, was it a reach? Was it? If that's a reach, mate, I'm concerned for what else goes on in your house. That wasn't a reach. And he could maybe clarify, like, what is it that you said then? What is it that you was whispering to each other?
To do that, because all you guys are doing is making our pages more popular. Thank you for that.
Weird response. Like if I blew up overnight because people thought I was doing that, I would not be happy about that. That's, again, this is just an odd thing to say.
But as far as all this crazy funny stuff y'all talking about, bro, that ain't a funny bone in my body. So it is what it is. I get the internet, do what y'all gotta do, but y'all never break me, I promise that, or my kids.
And another thing that caught my attention too, that the majority of the people who like took their time to go and push this version of their story, they have no followers, they have no like following, no views on their pages, and then boom, they jump on this and all of a sudden they got 100,000 views. Like,
is this guy dumb? Again, why are they both taking such a cocky approach to it? Like, why are you, like, so confused that people want to check that you're not doing anything suspicious when you work with children and you have many children in your household? I'm not listening to this guy. Like, I'm not listening to you ramble on. Like, even if you are innocent, like, this was not the right approach, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know what you guys think. I personally have my opinion that what we saw is what happened. I don't think any amount of like backpedaling and being like just the deflection alone is odd. Like, even if he hadn't actually done what we think he did, even if he was, sorry, I've got an itchy leg, even if like what we saw wasn't what actually was happening and we just got it wrong, both of your reactions sucked ass. Like, you're acting like people are crazy for looking out on behalf of like the children that are in your life, and I just think that speaks volumes anyway about the type of people that you are. Anyway, sorry it was a like darker video. If you did enjoy this video, if that's possible, please leave me a like. It definitely helps these videos do better. Subscribe if you like my coverage of this topic, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.